It's well known that the uniqueness of the miracle of Purim is that it was a nes nistar. It was a hidden miracle, something that was done within nature. There was nothing that broke the rules of nature, nothing that took place that was particularly eye-opening or in any way massively notable. It was simple, it was subtle, it was a series of events that over the course of time became exposed as something of a miraculous nature, but it took place within the course of nature. Rav Tzadok points out that nature, or what's called teva, is Hashem's way, God's way of being tsanua, of having tznius, of being modest. Nature is God's modesty. God running the world through nature, through a series of what seems to be cause and effect within the natural world. That is Hashem's way of being modest, of being tsanua. And I think that this perspective can be so helpful for us and can really allow us to access the Mishenichnas Adar Marbim Besimcha that we are all hoping for, that place of joy. Because when we think that there needs to be some sort of massive miracle, nes galoi, an open, revealed miracle that's going to blow your mind, we think we need to live in some way that's going to leave some tremendous legacy. We need to be speaking to a big audience. We need to leave some major impact and imprint upon this world. Well, that creates a tremendous amount of pressure. And it's unattainable for most of us. And it makes us feel that our day-to-day lives and the ins and outs of most of the things that we're engaged in just isn't enough. And it can leave a person feeling relatively disappointed, unsatisfied, unsure if they are really living up to whatever this fantasized potential or whatever this legacy that has been placed upon them might be. But when we realize that Hashem's greatest acts are the acts that are biteva, that are within nature, that the final miracle, the final holiday that we have within the course of Jewish history, the one that sends us off into the exile and stays with us, is the nes of Purim, is the nes that's hidden. It's God's tznius, God's modesty. What Hashem always is asking of us is to walk in His ways. And so what that means for us is that our real living, our real work in this world is the work that is within teva, within nature. It's the work that's modest. It's the work that doesn't require some big audience. You don't need to fill an auditorium. You don't need to leave some tremendous legacy. You don't need to become a household name. You don't need to be doing something remarkable that everybody is talking about. You simply need to be living as the best you can be within your own modesty, within your own simple ways, within the things that are right in front of you, with your spouse, with your children, with your parents, within your home, within your family, within your shul, within your community, within your job, within your office, with your colleague, with your employer, with your secretary, with whoever it is, with the person at the toll booth or the person that's serving you at a restaurant or at a store, in the smallest, simplest ways, the teva type ways, the tsanua type ways. That's the joy of Purim. That's what we're celebrating. It's that even within that is godliness. And that arguably is actually more important than the major things that a person does that people talk about. It's the things that people don't even know to talk about. And with that perspective, deep meaning and deep significance becomes so much more accessible within the normalcy of life and not needing to bend over backwards to find some incredible way to be significant, but to find the small, subtle, softly spoken ways of being the best that you can be, which I believe ultimately allows for a lot more Mishenichnas Adar Marbim Besimcha. That's why Adar is Aleph Dar. It's the place that Hashem lives. Hashem is Aleph, is Echad, but Aleph barely even makes a sound. It's the softest sound, because it's in that softness of our voice that we can actually create more godliness in this world, and then ultimately, Marbim Besimcha, have access to even greater joy.